For our software engineering project this semester for 3155, we've created something called EcoChoice, the journey to finding the electric vehicle for you. So what problem are we trying to accomplish? EcoChoice is striving to ease the hassle of finding the most ideal electric vehicles for buyers. We're tapping into a database of more than 20 different manufacturers and multiple models for each manufacturer. Then we're categorizing these into different details such as seat numbers, speed, price, and mileage. This way, since electric vehicles are so new, our users will have a little bit easier of a time finding some that fits their criteria. So who is our audience? Well, we're looking for environmentally conscious drivers who want to cut down on carbon emissions, drivers looking to try out their first electric vehicle, people comparing prices of electric vehicles across brands to try and see if favorite companies make electric vehicles, frequent drivers wanting to reduce the carbon footprint so they can help keep the environment clean, parents wanting to purchase a car that runs on clean energy to teach their kids, car fans wanting to buy the most luxury electric vehicle to show off their friends and family, drivers wanting to narrow down choices based on mileage, car dealers wanting to see which types of cars to sell to get the most buyers, and lastly, drivers who want to save money by charging electric vehicles instead of buying gas.
Our actors and personas consist of four people. We have Tom, Marissa, Joan, and Michael, and John. Tom is 34 years old. He's a male. He's a Tesla superfan. Marissa is 16. She's a female high school student, and her parents want her first car to be a electric vehicle. John and Michael are 41 and 42, male and female. They are married and they need an electric vehicle to have enough seating for four kids. Technical abilities for them is they have four kids. Jo- John is 28 and he's a male. His motivation is he wants to reduce the carbon footprint due to driving a lot. Next, we'll present our demo.
Yeah, so we're going to present the demo right now. So the demo is about 7 minutes long, and it's going to cover all our user stories and personas and the group, all of us guiding them through the application from end to end. Okay, so for a demo of our EcoChoice web application. And so this web app is going to help you find your next electric vehicle. And we're actually going to be doing the demo with our four user stories and personas of how they possibly can navigate our app through the user stories. So Dylan, which is our first user story and persona that we're going to be using?
All right, so our first persona is Tom, a 34-year-old male. He's a Tesla super fan who wants the fastest Tesla. And like as a Tesla super fan, he would like to sort the vehicles to only show the Teslas and like their acceleration.
Okay, so he wants a Tesla. So the first thing we can do is we can look at the different Teslas that he can select. You have the Roadster, you have the Model X, you have the Model S, another Model X, the long range one, Cybertruck, the Model Y, the Model 3, and then the different models. And so he wanted to do the fastest Tesla with the most acceleration. So we can again sort by the fastest Teslas who can accelerate the fastest. And we find that the Tesla that can accelerate the fastest is the Cybertruck with a single motor. So I think for Tom, what he would need to do is come to our second graph and just find out which is the Tesla that can accelerate the fastest.
All right. So let's see.
Our second persona is who?
It is Marissa, a 16-year-old high school student who is in the market for her first car. Her parents would like it to be an electric vehicle to teach her about greenhouse gases, and they would like to sort by price to find the cheapest option for them.
Okay, so what Marissa would want to do is that she would want to look at our price model, which would show the most priciest cars, electric cars, to the cheapest one. And so in this case, what Marissa would do with our web application was through all the different graphs, she would actually want to go to the one where it's the price of the models. And so what she can do is go through the graph, look at which is one of the cheapest one, and it looks like the cheapest one for her is the Seat brand, which is a Mi electric model, and the price in euros is only 20,000. So it looks like Marissa would be somewhat inclined with these kind of models. And the other brands that are somewhat close are the Smart brand, the Skoda, which is a popular European car, and Renault, which is also a very cheap EV. So it looks like Melissa would want one of these 5 cars as her first car to possibly go to school and to be an introductory car for her.
All right, so let's see. Our third persona would be a married couple, Michael and Joan. They have 4 children, so they would like an electric vehicle that has enough seats.
Okay, so let's reload the app. And so what you said, Joan and Mary.
Michael, yeah.
Michael. So they would want to utilize in the web app. They reloaded the web app. They're here, and they'd want the car that would have the most seats. And so this graph shows the most seats of each car. They're generally around the same, but we have a few outliers. We have, the Model Y, which is actually a Tesla, which has 7 seats. And then we have, cars like the Model X, which has 7 seats. So if you can go to a Tesla right here. So this one would have 7 seats. This one would have 7 seats. This one has 7. So it looks like they can choose between the Model Y, the Model X, or another Model Y, as well as, the Model X and an EQV 300 long. So you said they had 4 kids. So if you take the 4 children plus the 2 parents, a lot of these cars will be able to accommodate them, right?
Yep, looks like it.
Okay. And who was our last persona?
All right, that would be John. He's a 28-year-old Uber driver who wants to reduce his carbon footprint due to having to drive a lot. And he would like to just see the efficiency for each vehicle so he can decide which one he wants.
Okay, so John you said he's an Uber driver and he wants to reduce his carbon footprint. So it looks like he's going to be doing a lot of driving. So what he wanted to do is look at possibly the best range of the cars and possibly the best efficiency. And so as an Uber driver, seats don't matter that much. If he has a 4-seat car, it's fine. And most of the cars do have that. So it looks like the first thing he wants to do is like what gives you the best range. And so looking at all these different brands that are actually, organized by brand, the Tesla Roadster seems like a really good range car, although expensive. It might want to be on a budget. It is a $215,000 car, but it does have great range at 970 kilometers. He also has a Cybertruck that is supposedly offering 750 kilometers. He has the Lucid car, which offers the Lucid Air, which offers 610 kilometers. He has 2 Kias that offer 365 kilometers. And then he has a Lightyear car, which has Lightyear 1, which has supposedly 575 kilometers. So he definitely has a few options. Out of those, it looks like the Tesla Roadster might be the best option when it looks at range. So let's sort by Tesla to see what gives him the best efficiency. And so it doesn't look like the Roadster gives that much efficiency compared to the Cybertrucks or the Model X. So we could also look at which other one would you want? The Lucid car. So Lucid actually has one car that gives 180 kilometers of efficiency, but it looks like he might be the best off going with a Tesla if he's not concerned about cost. He's an Uber driver, but if he really wants to reduce his carbon footprint, like our persona describes, the Tesla or, even the Mercedes might give a good efficiency for him regarding his need to reduce his carbon footprint. So yes, those are all our 4 personas and user stories for our web app, and we hope you enjoyed those.
Okay, so that was our demo of our web app. If the sound wasn't, that good, or you weren't able to hear too much, we also have it uploaded to YouTube. If you want to download the presentation and just click the link, it'll take you back to this YouTube page where you can rewatch or re-listen to the presentation. But moving on, we also, as part of the journey to create our web app, we had to go through a lot of different sketches and graphs and diagrams and models. And this was our system model for the presentation. It goes from the user to our preference selection to creating a query and sending the query to our CSV file and our data to our web app, actually creating the charts using the CSV file and loading it for the user to see. And so this whole cycle was really manifested in about a few seconds in our web app. But if you want to see how it all happens, definitely you can look at the system model again. And so as part of our system model, we didn't get our desired results the first time from both our group feedback as well as our partner group feedback. We actually went through 3 rounds of testing with our partner group that really helped us refine and update the different versions of our app to really what we have today, which is version 3.0. That really had to meet the optimization requirements as well as the user experience requirements to what they wanted us to do. So earlier in the project cycle, we went through our first round of testing, which was just our basic prototype. And after testing our app, the partner team gave us a lot of feedback for different possible future enhancements, including the front end aesthetics, as well as, the overall operation of our web app. And so after getting this feedback, we decided to include even more graphs to meet all the user personas that they were, wanting to go through our app with. And thus, getting personas like people who commute to work a lot and a lot of mileage. So we added a lot of different features that included looking at graphs and techniques of how much energy or how much energy consumption is taken per unit in an electric car, as well as the range of the electric cars. So we decided to implement version 2 of our app, or a new version, to include all these pieces of data as well as the new front end experiences to really get the users to have a better experience using the app. And so after first round, we went later on to the second round of testing a few weeks later with our partner group. And so after meeting with the group again, we decided to test our prototype, which is version 2.0. And again, there were some hiccups and there were some confusions with our web app with our partner group that were pretty unclear, as well as, when you're looking at an app, you want to see what version it is, what the project name is, what is the product name of the app, as well as the team members. And so after giving us that feedback, we definitely took feedback when it came to the front end again to change the layout of the graphs and the different color and play on the color schemes and things like that. So the main purpose of this was to make it even more user accessible and friendly so that users who will go through the app definitely want to utilize and be taken through a logical sequence to really determine the right electric vehicle for them. And we did this and updated to version 3.0. And this third round of testing we actually did outside of the lecture and outside of class. And so this is the final round of testing for our web app of version 3.0. And the partner group was very satisfied with all of our changes. And other than testing the app and giving us kudos. They had no particular feedback to update and control the new version. Version 3.0 from their perspective was a success, and we were ready to submit, and our app was ready for launch.
All right, so some future enhancements that we would like to include are the ability to compare miles per charge versus miles per gallon in gas vehicles, the ability to select an individual vehicle and compare it across the graphs, pull up sales of vehicles near you and or deals to get the best price in your area. We would also like to add a feature that allows users to input their zip code to see all nearby charging stations. Lastly, we would like the user to be able to look at pricing and receive links to local dealerships. Some of the major challenges we faced during this project were delegation of tasks to best suit everybody's optimal strengths. We learned that we should better assess everyone's abilities before we assign tasks. Time management was another huge challenge we had to overcome. We learned that we should have a strict plan moving forward. We also had challenges with deciding on the layout and format of the application, and from that we learned to a lot more time to deciding on the details of design before moving forward.
And that was the last slide of our presentation for the EcoChoice product unveil. So thank you.